You know what this is? It's not a movement, it's the only thing moving, huh? Dig that? Okay, oh yes, the war is coming. The gap keep growing with the wealthy and the slumming. So I use my mental riches for digits to keep them running till my chips come around. Yo, like a Funyun, bite down, get a taste of that Midwest flavor. While I'm at it, let Mr. Rogers just shout out to my neighbors. I ain't mention the journal when I say wake up, get paper. Not talking about Kobe when they mention a Great Lake.
But man, listeners, we back with another episode of Unlabeled the podcast. I'm your illustrious host, Jerome Williams. I got my good brother Kendrick Washington in the building. Later on, we'll be joined by our good friend of the show, Adrian. Kendall, he already updated y'all on how he's doing this week. Let's set the tone right quick. I was about to stop it before that, but I was in the wrong part of my joint, so I had to just fade him out. I was trying to get back to the mix. I'm like, oh, messed up, but I just had to fade him out. But yeah, we big back. Let me get some air horns up in here, some round of applause, and some gunshots, all that. I need all that.
Man, you need all that shit.
We big bike.
The whole setup was crazy.
Man, listen. This what an incredible venue. Hey, listen, man. I feel. Let me turn my applause down a little bit. I almost feel bad for the people, bro, who don't have big speakers in their house. If you just had TV speakers in your house, man, like you missed out. you had to have that on some big speakers, man. I hate to sound like like elitist, but you had to have that on some big speakers. And if y'all not aware what we talking about, Ken and Friends. I'm calling them one of our guests. We talking about Ken and Friends, the pop out. If you didn't have no big speakers in your house, it was a problem. Ain't that right, Adrian?
Man, just crazy. I mean, you had like 20 other acts.
AB say? Yeah, what AB say? He got cooked.
He got cooked. Hey, I don't even want to make it about dude.
It had to be though.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that was kind of like a catalyst, but I want to make it about dude though. Like yeah. I'm here to argue because I heard a lot of people saying like love, I mean like hate. It was a hate fest and it was a hate chella and the hate for that one man brought them all together. And I like to argue that it was love, like love for the hip hop, like love for getting back to its root that brought everybody together like that.
I mean, because you had go ahead, bro.
Yeah, that's true. They said 11 million people watched. So I was like, and that was a good look for a lot of artists, that was from Compton or whatever, that didn't usually get those type of looks too.
Oh,
so, yeah. I would say that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, shit, they were like 20 other acts, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm sure, you from Rimble to Ray Vaughn to, like Jay Worthy and the Whoops, like there was several like local acts that had really nothing to do with that situation that was going on with, between Drake and Kendrick. So I just like the fact that, they brought out all those California acts and kind of showcased like how much great music they've been making over the years, even though they kind of been getting ignored, to an extent. I'm just talking about some of those actors because obviously artists, because obviously it was some of them that, obviously have notoriety from West Side Boogie to Tyler the Creator to Ty Dolla $ign, Blast, you know what I'm saying? They were definitely Dom Kennedy. It's definitely rappers in there that definitely has some notoriety, but I'm just saying there were quite a few that pretty much only, I would say, locally in the California area they knew of versus so many out here, nationally or internationally. So,
yeah, I totally agree because like what I loved about it was how it was broken down. Like DJ Head came out first. For all of y'all that didn't see it live, I'm sorry. You might be able to find a replay back on YouTube. I haven't found a replay of the entire show. It's just Kendrick's part. And but the way it started off, DJ Head he did his set first, then DJ Mustard, and then Kendrick did the last set. So that's what Kendall was referring to. DJ Head brought out some acts that I've never heard of. I've never heard of Rimble until that. Is that if I'm even saying it right?
Yeah, Rambo.
I never heard of him until that night. You know what I mean? Of course, I
Right.
heard of Ray Vaughn before, and I was so glad he performed "Problems" with Pusha T.
Yeah, that was fire.
That song's
Super
so fire.
lyrical.
But like I said, the Cuzzos, never heard of them before. Rucci,
Mm-hmm.
Wally the Sensei. Of course, I've heard of West Side Boogie. I played him on the show several times. Zoe Osama, and I'm from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't raised there, but I'm from there, and a lot of these artists was not familiar with at all. So it was really dope to see, like I said, some of the local talent being brought out by DJ Head. That shit was incredible, and they shut that shit down.
And Problem, he brought Problem out. It went crazy.
Yeah,
Problem came, or Jason Martin, if y'all, whatever y'all call him today. But when Problem came out, that shit shut everything down. Just talk about from DJ Head, pause, his perspective. So yeah, and then Tommy the Clown, of course, everybody lost control when he came out as well. You know, shout out to Rise, which was a great documentary film about crumping and shit like that. But you know, he had a whole 6-minute set almost. It felt like. I mean, it might have been more than 6 minutes. I mean, he was up there for a minute. So I love how DJ Head, you know, pretty much gave him the reins after he was done with his set. You know what I'm saying? So I like how they was really just paying homage to a lot of living legends in the LA area, and also, you know, just Cali as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all know how quick the turnaround was from when they announced it to the day of the concert?
I'm not sure at all. It had to be quick because I think I saw the promotion floating around about a week beforehand. I wasn't sure if it was longer than that, but I saw about a week beforehand. But whoever put that show together, production wise, man, Amazon, whoever was behind the camera, they killed it, man. That was some of the best.
Yeah, when they did the wop.
Yeah, that shit was fire. But even just the screens or the rectangle screens over the stage, like I don't know if y'all ever been to a Kendrick Lamar concert before. Kendrick Lamar is one of the hands down best performers I've ever seen in my life. I've been to about 4 of his concerts before, and so he always puts a lot of production quality into his set. But the whole thing looked good from beginning to end. And like I said, Amazon they killed that, man. Like phenomenal production quality. You know what I mean? I even liked how. You know, he was in color on stage, but on the screens they had him in black and white. I don't know if y'all peeped that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that,
Mm-hmm.
all that shit was fire, man. But yeah, shout out to Amazon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure about that first time.
And it seemed like they really did a great job of staying out the way, or either that, or they got some pretty good. You know, there's definitely some black people in the room. You know what I'm saying? As far as who was helped create that show and everything. I mean, because it was really like their ordeal. You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like it was something that was a part of Amazon or anything. It felt like this is Kendrick's show, and that's the way it should be. You know, and he's done other shows before, prior on Amazon anyway, so I'm sure they have a great working relationship. I'm just saying, with this show, it definitely felt like it was for California. You know what I'm saying? Like that Day Not Like Us was a real life like theme. You know, that whole thing, because it really felt like it was a California concert. It was too many artists from California.
Yeah, with me being a fan
of
Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah. Do y'all feel like it was a pick a side type of thing though? Because I mean, even like I would say the DeMar DeRozan's on the stage, the Westbrooks, the LeBron in the crowd with Drake following him. How do y'all feel about that in regards to, you know, how that went on kind of before and after the concert?
I don't feel like it was a pick a side thing. Like I thought it was beautiful to see all them West Coast people on the stage, like DeRozan, Westbrook, everybody who's, you know, got Cali in their veins.
Hard.
I don't think it was a pick a side thing at all. But one thing, if you're not familiar with West Coasters, everybody listening, you cannot disrespect Pop. I don't think people understand that. Like the moment you open your lips to disrespect Pac in front of somebody that was born and bred in L.A., even though Pac is from Pac from Jersey originally or New York, one of the two.
He's from the Bay. He's from the Bay originally.
No, he's from New York. He's from New York. I mean, he was born in New York, you know, because his mom was out there. But he moved to Cali like later in his life. You know what I'm saying? I think he was in Oakland.
So
I know he spent a lot of time in Baltimore too.
Yeah. But what you cannot do is disrespect Pac, man. Like, and I don't think people. I think that's lost on a lot of people. Why everybody came together like this is because it's like disrespecting Nip at this point for all you new kids. Like, if somebody was to disrespect Nip in the presence of somebody from the really West Coast, that's part of a set and everything, is gonna be a problem as well. So and I think that's where this really came from, because like a lot of people was like, to Kendrick's point on Not Like Us. You think the Bay gonna let you disrespect Pac, nigga? I think that Oakland Soul gonna be your last stop, nigga.
And he changed his lyrics up in Euphoria when he was like, "Give me Tupac ring back, and I might give you a little respect."
Right.
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And he never said that in the original Euphoria, but
he
was
didn't.
he was harping down on that shit. Like, we don't like none of that shit you was saying, bro.
Yeah, so I think that was just a lot of the West Coasters showing on a united forefront. Cause like what I love what Kendrick said at the end of the show, he was like, we've been fucked up since the death of Nip and the death of Kobe, and if you think about it, man, the West Coast has been in a slump really since then. You know what I mean? That to see everybody come together in the fast that they came together was beautiful and dope to me. Like I said, I definitely don't think it was a pick a side thing. I think it was the West Coast being united on the front.
Mm-hmm. Well, but I think it was also just kind of him showcasing like, this is some shit you can't really do, Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that part too.
That to me, in that essence, they were picking a side. It's more so like, you're the whole colonizer piece and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Not so much putting so much emphasis on that, but just more so like, this is something you just can't do. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to do that shit in Toronto, but it's not going to be the same type of impact because and I don't mean it like that, but I just mean it's not the same type of impact as it is with so many artists that have come out of California. You know what I'm saying? So, and him showcasing like, this is my home. You know what I'm saying? So because I think there was at one point Drake was saying, I'm hotter than you in your own city and, stuff like that. So I really think he was just kind of showcasing, like, if I need niggas to rally behind me, that's not even a problem. Same thing with, who really banging said, my nigga YG. And YG was there. YG was actually in the video that they just recorded yesterday for that Not Like Us. You know what I'm saying? So I think there were some that picked a side, but not so much. That wasn't necessarily what the concert was about. It was just more so to showcase, this is my home and I'm always going to have these people rally behind me.
Yeah, and I seen Jermaine Dupri do an interview earlier this week, and he was kind of saying the same things that y'all said. Like, he had a big problem with the whole Tupac AI thing. He just thought it just crossed the line, like, completely. Yep. Like, who do you think you are to do that? I don't care how big you are, what kind of fan base you have. Like, that was just kind of outside the lines, of kind of disrespecting a legend. I mean, pretty much. Right. So. I definitely
especially to have his ring. You know what I'm saying? If anything, if you're gonna buy relics and things of these artists, you know what I'm saying, you will have a certain level of respect for it instead of doing some sort of AI voice and rapping like what you think Pac would say, even though it was definitely in a Drake tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could even hear Drake. You could hear Drake through the song, even though he was using them AI voices. It was still his flow. It was still how he raps. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it was just corny all around. But me, I'm not from Cali, so I don't necessarily have that same type of feeling towards it. But like, Jerome or just like I said, people from there, obviously Pac is a different type of animal. I mean, because he did way more in the music space than what it speaks to. You know what I'm saying? He changed a lot of just people's mind frames, period. So, Pac is definitely a staple over there. So that's like him just saying, that's like if Drake was to say something crazy about Kobe. Like, even though Kobe ain't from there, I mean, Kobe is Mr. Laker. You know what I'm saying? So it's just certain things that you just can't say. And, and Drake pretty much crossed the line and thought he was going to be able to get away with it like how he has before.
I'm glad you brought up Kobe, too, because Kobe and Kobe didn't like Drake either because he mentioned that his wife in the song. You know what I mean? And then people started yelling it when Kobe was going through a divorce in 2012 or was about to get broke up from Vanessa, like and fans was running around saying you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, all that type of shit. Like, Kobe didn't take lightly to that, and you see Kobe ended up with her, still worked it out to his death. You know what I mean? And but yeah, he didn't fuck with Drake because it's a little clip going around the internet of him announcing all the NBA players and all them going up and dapping up Drake, and then Kobe just walking off stage. So y'all can look that up. It's a clip circulating around. But hey, man, people don't play about their spouses. I've been saying it since the all this diss and all that stuff started. You know what I mean? Like, don't play with nobody's spouse.
I think that's what made Kendrick kind of really unleash on Drake, was the bringing up of his family. Honestly, that's when he really just
he said it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He just really unleashed. I thought he had 10 more tracks in the bag. I think that vault is crazy.
Oh, he had plenty of songs ready, but like you said, I mean, I just think he had songs to pick from. Like, okay, if this nigga go this route, I'm gonna go here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna add a little bit more to this song. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't, like you said, don't speak on the family, Crody. It can get deep. So like, I'm letting you know, my nigga, like, just leave my family out of it. You know what I'm saying? Only reason why I'm bringing up your son is just because this is public information, and we know about what you've already kind of been a part of with the whole porn star thing. So that's the only reason that shit was brought up. But other than that, Drake, Kendrick didn't bring up anything about his personal life. You know what I'm saying? And then when Drake, went right for that, which is usually what he does anyway. And like I said, it's worked before, but it's just, Kendrick is the wrong type of dude, and he was calculated with what he was doing, and Drake just went the low hanging fruit option, and he lost.
Yeah, he did that. He did that initially with his first diss track after was it the song with Future, like that.
Oh,
after
like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is third high profile beef anyway, because I mean he pretty much was real strategic on Meek, so he killed Meek being strategic, but he tried it with Pusha T. Pusha T was ready, and then he tried it again with Kendrick. So I mean, it's kind of been a carbon copy of what he's gonna do. You know what I'm saying, after every song or whatever. But can you imagine if Kendrick he was the one to drop the blackface picture instead of Pusha T? That would have been like crazy.
Yeah, that'd have been crazy.
Yeah,
that would have shut everything down.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, more so than it already has.
That Not Like Us would have been times 30.
Yeah, that's the picture. That's what I think of Not Like Us. I think of that Drake blackface picture more than the pedophile kind of, sex offender thing. I think of the blackface thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it's all about. He's basically talking about his whole identity. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the whole point. Like you said, if he would have showed that blackface, that would have been just like, yeah, look at this, Exhibit A. Because how many black men even today would really be okay just kind of dressing up like that? You know what I'm saying? Even if you were trying to prove a point, most people would just be like, nah, I ain't doing that, bro. That's a little too far. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for him, he was more than okay. Regardless of what the reasoning behind it and all that. But I'm just saying, like, to me, it's just kind of weird that you would even be comfortable even dressing like that.
Yeah, you know what I really hate. I hate the fact that Kendrick is becoming so synonymous with Drake, because Kendrick has been an amazing artist way before this beef and all this.
Decade.
For decade plus now, man. And for a lot of people, they didn't like his artistry, or they felt like it was pseudo work or performative. Like wokeness or whatnot, you know what I mean? But I think those people who just didn't dig deep into his art, or didn't even listen. Y'all might have listened one or two times and then just kept going. But like I've been a fan of him since day one. You know what I mean? Like since Good Kid, Mad City, I really wasn't a big fan of Section 80. But so I say day two then. Since Good Kid, Mad City, but he's put together phenomenal bodies of works. I feel like every last one of his albums are classic. We did a whole show dedicated to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Phenomenal tour, by the way. And it's just people get hung up on the fact that him and Drake are caught up in this, intertwined into this beef right now, you know what I mean? And it's just become synonymous. And I really think this is just a reclamation of the culture, putting it back into the people's hands that it needs to be with. And this could be a really good strategic time for us to transform the narrative on who controls the industry and who controls culture. You know what I mean? If it's executed properly, I just want to see what happens next, because I don't want this to be the start of something and all that culmination of what we saw on stage with this Ken and Friends pop out, and it not go nowhere. It just be dead in the water. We don't get no more music. We don't get no more West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. You know what I mean? I think this could be a real dope start to something.
But I think it also is going to take, the actual people, the audience, you know what I'm saying, to support it though. Just because, again, it's like, what are you going to cling to? You know what I'm saying? The type of music. Because like I said, the West Coast, I think they've been around. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like those artists that came out on those sets, a lot of them had albums between, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021. It was just that those songs didn't necessarily make, national acclaim. You know what I'm saying? So I think it also has to take the audience to actually support some of this music, because a lot of those songs, even, some of us were talking about it, as the songs were coming on, like, man, I haven't heard this song before. This is fire, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I think those songs could absolutely be on the radio. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's about who's supporting that music. Mm-hmm. It can't just be mainstream artists all the time. You know what I'm saying? We have to definitely go back and, really search sometimes for these types of artists as well. But at the same time, help promote them, you know what I'm saying, so that we can listen to this type of music and that it does shift into a a good space that it needs to be in, because everybody should be able to perform any kind of way, whether we like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I am about a lot of a lot of music, but in terms of everybody should be able to still have a spot. You know what I'm saying? And we get to pick what we actually want to listen to, and not just kind of be shifted into those directions.
Yeah,
But that's Cali for you anyway, and you know that from living in Texas as well.
yeah.
Like, you can sell 200,000, 300,000 units into Texas or California and not even be seen outside the country and have a great living for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
that kind of goes that way as well. Yeah.
Like, look at DJ Mustard, right? He from there. You know what I'm saying? And he was a legend and shit, and probably in the early 2000s. Not early 2000s, but 2010s. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had been around for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And he was already a local legend in LA. So I definitely agree with you. You know, it's you can do that without even have to be super famous elsewhere. But I'm just saying, like, if we promote that type of music, just like how we did back in the 90s. I mean, West Coast was really running a lot of shit, even though East Coast was definitely a staple at that time. And that's where hip hop pretty much was bred from. But once, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E really took off, Ice Cube, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking about NWA. I'm just talking about as solo artists, and everything expanded. We were all over that music. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So I think we could definitely do that again. There's a lot of artists that just deserve that attention. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, sometimes if you local in your own area, you probably don't even care to move outside of that. So yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
So, and I know you said we could leave it into the fans' hand, but do you think that us playing streaming artists' music is gonna move the needle at all? Like, from what?
I don't say leave it in their hands. I'm saying it takes them as well to support this type of music, so that it kind of pushes these execs and things like that to play everything instead of just this. You know what I'm saying?
But that was my thing. Do you think that's going to happen? Because I mean, we all know that.
Well, no, not really. I mean, because the reality is they got rid of the mixtape circuit. Mm-hmm. That was what kept everything.
That's true.
Tight. You know what I'm saying? But they've shunned away from live mixtapes and make my mixtapes. Dat Piff.
Yeah.
I mean, those were the areas where, and they're still around, but they're not getting the acclaim that they used to. I mean, shit. When Meek Mill did Dreams Chasers, everybody was running the Mixtape Kings or somewhere to go get that music. Like, now it's all there ain't even no mixtapes no more like that. You know what I mean? There are, but they're not promoted like that. Everything is promoted on Apple Music, all these DSPs, digital service providers. Like, I think that's what that stands for. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's my whole point, is like, though it's all kind of condensed into that world. So it's, like I said, it's really on the audience, because otherwise, these execs ain't gonna push shit. They're gonna just do it, whatever makes money, that's what they're fine with.
Yeah. And the reason I said, because back in the day it was a payola thing with these radio programmers. Even though the radio, you know what I'm saying, like, it's okay, we wanted to push this artist, so we're gonna put money behind this artist and get him playing on the radio station. We're gonna pay off the programmer over at Hot 97 or whatnot to get him to play a certain album.
That's
what
true.
I mean?
Then
So
you have the street teams. You have the street teams also.
Yeah. So,
like, you remember going to the Miami MAs, the homecomings in different HBCUs, and seeing like the Def Jam guys, the Rockefeller guys, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. People driving around with the billboards on the truck.
Yep.
Like, a lot of that stuff went away with, after digital content kind of just took over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gonna figure it out, but I'm gonna do my part right now. I'm gonna let y'all know. So all our playlists will be posted in the description of this podcast moving forward. Starting with today with Ken and Friends, that'll be in the description of this podcast, so y'all can go click on that and find every artist that was played at the live show, and explore their catalog if y'all want to delve deeper into it. But yeah, we gonna do our part with starting with that. But yeah, like I said, hopefully something shifts, because like I said, I've been y'all know, Kendall, I've been curating these playlists for years. Like, I'll find the best artists that I can find, even if everybody don't like them, but I'll find the best artists that I can find that actually make music with some kind of substance or just slightly different than what we hear on the radio, and I cultivate them like that. So I'm definitely gonna start putting them playlists in this description in the spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you're right. It's definitely on the radio stations as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't, the ones that are still around, the ones that are still actually making real, like, impact. Because, like, I ain't on front. Like, I listen to radio out here. I do a little ride share here and there. Mm-hmm. And, there's quite a few radio stations out here that are very good. But, there's only a few that's really kind of trying to play music that's, like, local or some local artists, things like that. Otherwise, to your point, we playing the mainstream shit because that's what's getting the spins. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely a conundrum for sure.
I got listen. Hey, when you're trying to start a business, you got to find a solution to a problem. We might have just brought up a problem for y'all to find a solution to kind of get you some paper out here in the music industry. But besides that, man, like what else did y'all like appreciate and like about the show? Because I love Kendrick's set, man. His sets are always great. He always does a phenomenal job mixing in his old catalog with his new catalog, and it's always different. He almost always plays Damn and Element and All Right on almost every last one of his shows because those are some of his biggest hits. But the way he did this one, this set list was a little bit different with him like playing King Kunta and bringing
they was purposeful.
Yeah, that was all purposeful. And like I never realized how many shots he was taking. As huge fan I am, I always thought he was just talking shit. I didn't realize that he was taking shots at Drake in a lot of these.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, you're right. Like you can go back to some songs. I mean, but that's what those great artists do, though, right? They make you go back into some of their music, like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah,
you know, from the Jay-Z's to the, you know what I'm saying, like those types of artists, Lupe or Biggie. You know, not big. Some, you know, some elements of Biggie too, but you know, Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like some of those artists where you kind of got to go back and, oh, damn, that's what he was talking about. So I think that's really what it was with Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? And him showcasing. Like, I'm really that MC, man. Like, you know, and I think that's what's good about hip hop. I think fans that are really just going to be objective, the ones that weren't really listening to Kendrick, because maybe they were listening to a lot of mainstream music, and I'm not saying Kendrick ain't mainstream, but he just doesn't necessarily get the same type of acclaim because he's not making music
for the mainstream.
That's featuring with everybody. He got all these songs with Young Thug, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, like, he's not going to be in all those radio spins. But whenever he does get on those songs with any of those, from Perfect Pint with Ray Shrimmer to, you know, that like that to right now, you know what I'm saying? Like whenever he jumps on any of those types of songs, it's always a hit. He just doesn't have a plethora of those songs because that's just not the type of music that he makes. Yeah. So now I think with people that are just general fans that really weren't listening to Kendrick because they thought, to your point, that, oh, he's just a Black Power, this and that, but that's really not who he is. You know what I'm saying? But I think people are going back and getting to that music and like, oh, okay, this is what he was talking about. So I love it. You know, I love that people are going to go back and listen to some of his music. But to your point, you know, all of those songs were definitely, as far as the set that he did on that during the concert, from Euphoria, like you say, he played right after Euphoria. Now you're doing DNA. Right after that, I'm doing Element. I'm listening to a bitch nigga A. You know what I'm saying? Like, to your point, I'm definitely talking about Drake. Y'all just didn't really know that. You know, and then he went over to All Right, Swimming Pools, you know, Money Trees. Once J-Rock came out, you know, it was over after that. You know, and then, you know, the Black Hippies, you know, to your point, what you was asking me, what I really loved was I love that reunion. You know what I'm saying? Seeing, you know, everybody come together. You know, people thought that Kendrick and them were kind of at ends because he left TDE, and that was definitely not the case. You know, everybody was supporting him. They all retweeted the promotion when the concert was, you know, coming out. They were all showcasing that, you know, so you knew they was going to be there, but you didn't really know, you know, but they were all promoting him. It was all love, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can get a Black Hippies album. You know, I'm looking for that, but
for sure.
That probably ain't gonna happen. But
I mean,
but I would love for it too. You know what I'm saying?
It could. I wouldn't say it won't because if you look at the diss tracks, all the diss tracks came out on TDE. They were exclusively licensed to TDE, even though he's not a part of them no more.
Okay.
So yeah. I
also, you know what I'm saying? I would love to see that shit. But yeah, I think that was really what it stood out for me was his support behind the TDE people. You know, I mean, not people, but you know, his family, TDE family, that was still there to support him. I really loved when he was performing 616 in LA. And Ab-Soul drunk ass, even though he couldn't keep it together, he was up there. He was just probably overly excited, you know. And I know he is blind too, so he probably was having some trouble up there seeing a little bit too. So that probably was a little bit of element of that. But he was definitely toasted, you know what I'm saying? He was probably too excited. But I love that, you know, Kendrick put his arm on his shoulder, just paused, and them niggas just went at it lyrically. You know what I'm saying? Because we do know that, you know, some people that do follow Kendrick or any of his music, he kind of looks to Ab sometimes with some of the stuff that he'll write and kind of like, you know, hey, what you think about this? So I love that camaraderie between them. You know what I'm saying? He really this was his show. You know what I'm saying? And there was one thing Joe Budden had mentioned. He said he seemed very happy. You know, that was one thing I never even thought about that.
No,
So
not
I
at
just
all.
shout out and quote him for saying that. He seemed very happy at the concert, and I never even thought about that until I watched a little bit of it again, and I was like, oh yeah, he was definitely ecstatic. You know what I'm saying? The whole time, and it looked like he was enjoying himself. So, you know, those are things that stood out to me where it didn't look like work. And I love that the people that been with him since day one, you know, as far as in the rap game, was there again, you know, however many years later, 2024.
You know, that is kind of funny you said that, because when I went to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he didn't seem happy to perform at all. He seemed like he was just kind of like it was a job and he was going through the motion. The last time I seen Kendrick happy was on the championship tours when they came here in Austin, and that was around the time Damn was out, and he performed a lot of the tracks off Damn and the Black Panther soundtrack. And that was the last time I seen him happy, and of course Absol, Schoolboy, Sir, the whole TDE lineup was there, and that was like the last time I seen him. But he did seem very, very happy with this performance. You 100% right about that.
But that's kind of Kendrick's MO. If you look at it, he really don't like the fame. I mean, he's real low key, chill, you know. So I can see it being that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I'm not denying that. Like, but I'm just saying, like, from just his facial reactions, all that, like, you know, he was dapping up everybody when he had everybody come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't, because he don't seem like, to your point, Adrian, he don't seem like he really enjoys like all these big ass crowds and just being around all these people all the time, all day, every day. He probably likes to be to himself, especially today, just because he's so damn famous and he probably just needs some solace somewhere. But to me, it just seemed like he really took in all of that. You know what I'm saying? And he was really just. It seemed like he himself was just impressed about what was going on. And, you know, it was basically a moment in history. You know what I'm saying? So, it was just really very well done. Nothing looked, pretty much every act even that came out, even, you know what I'm saying, from the first act to the last, everybody for the most part performed very well. Only nigga I didn't really care for was, I forgot the brother's name. I think it was Bino or something like that. He had a song called Bozo, I think it was. But I didn't really care for that song. But other than that,
yeah.
Hey man, everybody just did a great job. Even Bino, it just wasn't necessarily my cup of tea.
Right.
But everybody performed very well.
You know the crazy.
And I look at it that way. Yeah, I look at it. That's what gave him the leg up against Drake, because he don't care about fame. He don't care about views. He don't care about any of that.
Once again, he said it. He said, what did he say? He said, if the whole industry can kiss my ass, he said, fuck him and fuck y'all too.
Right.
I fuck around and thump y'all niggas like, Hey, dog, dude is crazy, man.
He'll go fuck y'all niggas.
Yeah. But
I thought about 96M when I heard that line.
Yeah.
Facts. Man, I swear to God, man, it was so many elements of different rappers, bro, when he was. That's why I like him, man. He really be paying homage and you don't even be knowing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just what he does as an artist, man. He just really is that dude. And I was not mad when Dr. Dre, shout out to Dr. Dre, I see dead people, but I was very, very okay when Dr. Dre said the best rapper right now, you know, or whatever he said, the greatest in the world or something like that, ever, or something to that nature. And I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily agree, but after what he just did in this performance, and just the way he really took down the top rapper. You know, I'm just talking about lyrically and just talking about from a diss perspective. I don't believe his career is necessarily, quote, over, you know, in certain circles, maybe in hip hop, you know what I'm saying, as far as the respect level. But I just like, he really just showed like, I can do pretty much whatever y'all talking about. Whatever layer of hip hop y'all want, I can do that. I can do some regular little songs. I can do some ballads. I can do some diss songs. I can do some introspective shit. I can do a club banger. Like, he really showcased that with all those disses, and then also showing in this concert, I can rally the troops whenever I need to. And then now he's doing this video on Saturday, and this was all on around Juneteenth holiday. So, right. I mean, it don't really get just no more hip hop than that, for real.
Not at all. One thing I really love too, and this is a point that Joe brought up on the show, was when he was talking about it was good to see all the Black hippie together, because a lot of people don't know that Ab-Soul had tried to commit suicide. J-Rock had gotten a horrible car accident. You know what I'm saying? Last time I seen Schoolboy Q, he was performing with a cast on his foot. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always something going on, and we don't hear no scandals. All that stuff was kept under wrap. You would hear small news reports about it, but it never got blown out of proportion about like some dysfunction going on, you know, with those young men. So it was definitely dope as hell to see them, like I said, all them healthy and up there performing again. Like that was definitely definitely a beautiful moment. You know what I mean? In hip hop, definitely one of my favorite moments in hip hop. Seeing them come back together like that. I'm definitely waiting on the album.
Future.
Future. Yeah.
I did the Future reunion.
Well, speaking about that, we got a slight one when Earl just performed at what's Tyler's concert that he does his Flog Gnaw.
Yeah, Flog Gnaw.
Like Earl was up there performing. He performed 2 songs with Tyler that night. That was just this year as well. So, and then we got the Clips coming back this year. That's gonna be another amazing moment in hip hop. Like, that song. I don't know if y'all heard that song that Birds Don't Sing. They scream in pain. With John Legend, oh my goodness, bro! I sent it to the group the other day, bro. That shit gonna make you cry, like especially if you lost a parent, man. That shit gonna have you in tears, bro. Like that song is fire. Adrian, you heard that song?
No, I haven't heard it. I gotta pull it up now.
I'll send it to you, dog. It's a beautiful song, though. But if either of your parents aren't alive, man, God bless them. But like, do not listen to that shit because you definitely gonna cry. Like it's a beautiful song, man. And they rapping their ass off. But y'all got anything else to add on the Kendrick part on the Ken and Friends?
Nah, I'm good with that, man. But yeah, whoever ain't seen it, make sure you watch it. And I'm sure you can search for it on YouTube or something like that. I'm sure it's on there by now.
I'm hoping Amazon put a replay of it to back up. I'm really hoping they do that because I didn't realize how many people missed it. It seemed like the whole world was watching when I was watching it, but a lot of people missed it.
Yeah, I watched some. I had to go back and watch some of the clips off YouTube again just to catch some of it again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Y'all.
They should have the full show on there now. I'm sure plenty. At this point, like we about 3 days in, so they already went the overdrive trying to get that on there.
Right, Adrian. Well, I got a question for you, man. Why do you think JJ Reddick is going to be a good coach for the Lakers? I need you to defend that.
Because partly I think the last year that him and LeBron done discussed this, I think they've kind of broken down the Lakers to the T to find out exactly what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he kind of been scouting the Lakers for the past year, going play by play. Even him and LeBron on their show, they do breakdowns of live Laker games.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of know what's going on and what's wrong. And I think they've kind of had this thing kind of pre-planned out, like who they're going to get for assistant coaches and everything.
Yeah.
So I think they're walking into it more prepared than what people think they are.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that it was prepared because LeBron is not an unprepared person, and neither is JJ Reddick. You can kind of tell. But I just think it's a point that experience comes into play. You know what I mean? And being having your feet to the fire. Like, LA is not something that's going to be a cakewalk for anybody. Like, it's too many bright lights there. Like, you know what I mean? And with this being a few LeBron's, the latter side of his prime, like, people want them to win now. Especially after this last season that AD just had, where he's shooting, some games he was shooting 95% from the field, some games he was shooting 73% from the field, and giving you 3 blocks and 13 rebounds. Like, people want them to win another chip. So this is not going to be a cakewalk for JJ Reddick at all.
I don't think they're going to win another ring, though. But to me,
Mm-hmm.
my thing is what really defines success for them. Is it going to be a 50-win season, top 5 in the West? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought the last 2 seasons were successful seasons for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all made it, especially after the Westbrook trade. Then they make it to the finals. Then the next year they make it out the playoffs and out the play-in into the playoffs. You know what I mean? I think these have been successful seasons for them, especially because they've only had like 9 to 11 man rotations a lot of the majority of those seasons. You know what I mean? Because they had at least like 6 players injured for the latter half of the season. You know what I'm saying? After the All-Star break coming into this year. So I think they were successful. That's why I was so like shocked at the firing of Darvin Ham. And everybody was talking about his rotations. I'm like, I get some of his rotations were bad, but at the same time, he had to figure shit out with the personnel that he had available.
yeah, that's true. And also, I think it's about a matchup thing too in the playoffs, right? Because certain teams are just not a matchup for you. Just
That
like
part.
Boston, I feel like Boston was happy as hell that they didn't play Denver because Porzingis would have got cooked.
Oh, he would have got
all day
cooked for
long.
sure. All of them would have got cooked.
Or the same thing with the Lakers. I feel like if the Lakers played Dallas in the Western Conference Finals instead of the Mavericks, we might have had a different team coming out of the West this year.
That part, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it's all about matchups as well, you know.
Yeah, the Lakers back or front court. They guards shit. I can't think right now. They ass, like, you know what I'm saying. That's why they always get cooked when they go up against Denver, because Denver got a bunch of tall, lanky, athletic niggas, like, you know what I'm saying. And then they got Contavious Caldwell Pope, who just like is just an energy man off the bench that just come in and dunk on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm gonna tell you that, like, they gonna have to do something spectacular, because I wasn't just my black pride was hurt when they fired Darvin Ham, and that shit really pissed me off. For the first time in LeBron's career, I've been upset about him by the way they handled something, and I was not feeling the firing of Darvin Ham at all. And I know Bron had a lot to do with it.
Head coach. I think he's going to end up being the head coach of the Bucks someday, though.
Oh,
so I think it kind of served him right.
Yeah. I know Kendall happy that he back with the Bucks.
I am too.
Absolutely correct. We're gonna get back to some defense.
I think he's the one guy to tell Giannis about himself, man, because I just got PTSD from Giannis at the top of the key, dribbling the ball.
He said, "I got PTSD." Yeah, that I never understood that. I get it, the point forward stuff. Like, he's so athletic, he can get to that paint in a few steps. So let him do his thing. But
I started with Jason Kidd.
The point forward joint. Yeah,
because he used to have him playing point guard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
But you don't need that now.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, I agree. I'm just telling you where it started.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, Kendall's, he's had more access to games than I have. So a lot of those, before Milwaukee became a big market team, I couldn't get a lot of those games down here in Texas when Giannis was still young. You know what I mean? So this is before League Pass would let you have the games the way they got it circulated now. But now Milwaukee is always on TV, so it ain't hard for me to catch as many games. But man, yeah.
And if you look at it that way, I look at it that way too. Like, with Giannis, it's like it took us to be down 0-2 versus Phoenix for him to finally get in the post and go to work. And I'm thinking like, oh, the light bulb went off. Mm-hmm. Then it just then he went right back to it the next season. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yep. That's exactly the main problem right there. Is he don't do enough post up plays, none of that type of shit. He loves to start that key and just barrel down, and spin and all. Like, that's okay, but not every time, nigga. Like, you got to have a few moves, and like you said, Darvin to be able to holler at him about that.
Mm-hmm. I get it in the open court, man. You don't want a Giannis running at full speed coming towards you, or a LeBron. You know what I'm saying? In the
That's
open
a charge.
But also, like, I like once you get set in the half court, then you got to do something different. Get in that post. It is so easy to score in the post. I don't know why people don't do it more often. It's crazy to me.
Kristaps Porzingis led the league this year in post plays. That's a damn shame. He old as hell. So I'm just saying, compared to some of these, no, he ain't old as hell. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Just compared to some of these players, he's very injury prone. So I just say old like that. Mm-hmm. But for him to be number one in post up, come on, man. If he can do it, y'all can too. Because he loved being on that 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? So for him to be leading somewhere or even close into that in that category, says a lot about him, and he know how to score. So. That's something that Giannis really got to work on, man. He got to work on.
That's crazy. I would think, I guess, because AD really didn't do it into the postseason, though, because AD was killing in the postseason. Against Denver, because that was what I was talking about earlier when he was shooting like 95. He had a game he shot 95% from the field. He had a game he shot 73%. He was going crazy in the post against Denver. So, I guess that's crazy. I did not know that about Porzingis, but. Good luck to the Lakers. Good luck to the Bucks, man. I wish them the best, because I'm gonna watch them games this year, but I'm gonna be disgruntled as fuck watching JJ Reddick on that sideline. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna be disgruntled as fuck. But Adrian, I know we're gonna lose you on this one, man. So because you don't watch the show, bro. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn you loose. But listen, brother, you welcome back anytime you want to pull up, bro. If you want to be on camera, next time, just let me know. But
I appreciate y'all, man.
Man, no, listen, bro, man, we appreciate you, bro, your time and your input for sure. So like I say, anytime you welcome, bro. We just getting back in the swing of things. We had to take a break because I had projects going around the house, and I've learned a few lessons over the years with how my team operates over the summer. So I had to give him a little vacation.
All right, man. Thanks, man. I'll holler at y'all.
Oh, yeah, bro. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, but like I said, anytime you want to come back, you're welcome to come back, bro.
All right.
All right, my guy.
Yeah.
All right, Kendall.
Yes,
last topic, bro. Last topic. Game of Thrones, bro.
No, House of the Dragon, sir.
Listen, same shit. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon,
You right.
or as black people like to say, House of Dragons.
them dragons.
Them dragons. Hey, listen, man. And before we wrap this thing up, man, that very first episode 1 was amazing.
Man.
I was not expecting. I didn't read it in the book, so I don't know what to expect. Right, I didn't, especially not the prequel books. I read one book of the original series, and I ain't got time no more. But anyway, phenomenal episode. Even with them not showing the death of the child on the screen, it was still seem extremely gory. Like just the sound effects they used and everything, man. Like why? And let me ask you this, because you might have a little more insight than me. Why does it seem like this series showrunner is so obsessed with like child death or birth deaths or something like that? Does it seem like that to you? Like just the killing of children? Like this is an overarching theme of this series?
Right. I mean, I can understand that. I mean, like I said, I've never read the books like that, so I don't know necessarily that piece of it. But it probably has something to do with just the. I think they're really trying to show the sensitivity, not so much. I don't want to say sensitivity, but just the actual, not importance either, but just basically like fertility. Like it's very essential here in this world. Like we have to bear these children in order to have these heirs. It's very important that we have these different types, these types of blood or blah, blah, blah. And so the Targaryen piece, because they do that interbreeding shit, I think that's really what the emphasis of it is, and the importance of children and why these kids are so important. And I think the gore piece of it, because I'm sure the books are even probably way more gory when it comes to offering these kids. I don't necessarily think it's necessarily the directors. I just think that they're trying to probably bring in that piece and that importance of, like, because in the first season they had the miscarriage, you know what I'm saying? And that just threw off everything, you know what I'm saying? They, thought they was going to save that baby, and they had to off the wife as a result. And then the baby ended up dying any damn way, you know what I'm saying? So, and I think that is because of the whole incest piece to an extent, right? Because I think she was somewhat related to him in some way. So I think that's kind of where the kid thing comes from, and why to your point, like them killing I can't remember his name. Aemon's son. Yeah. So I think that's where it's coming from. Is just the importance of children in this world, because probably for immortality, birth rates, whatever, it probably was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Off top, and then adding on the fact that you out here interbreeding with your families, so it's even more heightened on top of that. So I think that's kind of where that comes from.
Okay, that was just something I want to touch on. I had to fast forward, because I know Kendall got to get up out of here, so I'm going to turn him loose, man. But listen, Game of Thrones is still Game of Thrones, and House of Dragon is still House of Dragon. Phenomenal series. Watch it. It airs tonight or tomorrow. Like it'll be out by the time.
Tonight.
Yeah. It'll be out by the time they hear this podcast, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Tomorrow.
Yeah. So we'll break down further episodes and more in depth for those of you who like to hear us break down TV shows, man. But like I said, thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in and listening, man. Click the link in the description. Y'all can check out the set list from the Ken and Friends concert, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Unlabeled podcast. Hopefully, the whole cast and crew be back with us next week. But we trying to get this thing back started up. Summer's here now, so we can provide y'all with some listening material for y'all work week. And on that note, man, we'll see y'all next week with another episode of Unlabeled podcast. Peace.